Hello again, and for today I am going to be delving into my China virus follow-up video. It has been 2 weeks since I did my last video, and there has been at least a marked improvement in terms of the response to reopening the economy, in terms of the response of getting things back to the real normal, which I will discuss in this video. But for me, I think I've pretty much had it in not only talking about the subject, but in my personal life, seeing other people talk about flatten the curve and stay at home. And I've basically gone on the warpath in my personal life because I am sick of stupidity. I am sick of ignorance. I am sick of the mental retardation that has gone on in this country for so long to now we cannot have social cohesion in a time of crisis. So let's get into some of the subjects that I've been viewing as a result of what the fuck has been going on. Now, if you were to tell me 10 years ago that Americans would instantly trade their freedom for security, I would have been one of those idiots to quote that Benjamin Franklin quote at you of, "He who trades their freedom for security deserves neither." But oh my god, do people just willy-nilly want to do it right now because the virus is so scary and everyone's gonna die? It's like, no, okay? We are fluctuating between a 0.1 and a 0.4% mortality rate on this fucking virus. There is nothing to be worried about. At the best case, you will be an asymptomatic carrier. At the worst case, you will die. But there is more likely a chance of you being an asymptomatic carrier than there is a chance of you dying at this point. So maybe we should be worried about the freedoms that are being taken away in certain states like Michigan and Wisconsin and the like. So maybe, just maybe, we should not just burn the Constitution for the fucking China virus. So why do I think a lot of this is coming out? Now, I'll get to that later. So, what else has become a result of this panic? Well, now that certain states like Georgia are noticing the numbers and realizing that we should have the ability to reopen, people are just fucking going nuts about, we should reopen. And just, it's annoying. And if you have seen what it looks like out there in Georgia, people are still wearing masks to go to work. People are still wearing rubber gloves if they have to touch stuff. This is just the temporary stopgap to going back to normal. And, you know, the more places that can open up, the better we will be later down the line. So that is my assessment of that. And the reason why that gets me so mad is just because, again, it's this acceptance, it's this complacency, it's this ridiculous thing that people just are open to doing in this country now, where they will just accept whatever hellscape reality that they live in. And, you know, if there's some kind of return to what was done in the past, they all start freaking out. And again, I think this is a result of lots of progressive politics just getting in the way of people's reality. But again, there is one real reason as to why this is the case. And this is because the media is so untrustworthy that people are scared. And what people are scared, they usually have in the past turned to the media. But they have not been media savvy for the past couple of years. As it is known, if you are someone who is media savvy, you have noticed how much the media lies. They lied about the Russia impeachment scandal. They lied about the Iraq war. They lied about Ukraine Gate, whatever the fuck that's supposed to be. You know, and they lied about the early risks of the China virus. And so, what is to be done? Very simple. You don't trust the people who fucking lead you astray. But that's the problem with a lot of normal people. They don't know who to trust, and they're very scared. There's all this conflicting info. don't wear a mask. Oh shit, no, you should wear a mask. Oh shit, you should wear gloves. You should have hand sanitizer. It's like, and all of this early misinformation has now been absorbed into the collective consciousness of this fucking virus. And it is causing chaos that the media just always loves to control. So, if you are scared, be aware that people out there have bad intentions for you and want you to be as scared as you currently may be. And you should rise above and fucking say no. I will not be a little bitch and listen to you because you just want my money, you fucking journo scum. Oh man, that really, that felt good to get off my chest. I have been very mad about the media's handling of this entire thing. Where they're talking about light therapy as if it's this ridiculous thing, and then in order for people not to know the information, that one video gets taken down, which I will have a link to in the sources. So again, the media is making a bigger mess of this than it needs to be, and fortunately, the one thing that all of us who know that the media is lying have on our side is the data. And the data says that the mortality rate is lower than it was predicted to be at least a month ago. So that is the best news that we could be getting right now. But there are people who, again, live in fear, are afraid, do not want to listen to conflicting data, who are accepting this as the new normal. This is not the new normal. This is a parallel reality to the one that we should be living right now. We should be at record highs in the economy. We should be openly going to movie theaters like nothing is going wrong, and we could sit down next week and watch the latest Marvel movie, and that kind of cultural stagnation is normal, because that is the world that was created before we got to this point. And I hope that, yes, things change in that result, but that is not an overnight change. This was, and now people are accepting it as the way we're going to live the rest of our lives. One of my favorite stories to have come out of this is the Dr. Fauci story of him saying that we are never going to be able to shake hands again as a friendly greeting. But when it comes to, what was that weird term of, hookup culture and random sex? Oh yeah, that's totally fine. It's not like I have multiple patents on cures for HIV, and if any of them were to actually work, I'd make a killing. But just sit in your home and never shake your friend's hand again. So that has been my whole issue. Is just there's too much conflicting info. You don't know who to trust, and for the people who don't pay attention to the media, they are just constantly being scared into this new normal, this complacency. And I think a lot of people are going to have to come to this realization that there is, denying reality and accepting reality. But you cannot accept this as the new normal. This is a temporary stopgap in the history of what will be the new decade, the 2020s. We cannot live our lives as if the Spanish flu was the biggest event in the 1920s. Because let me tell you, the 20s were a pretty raucous time, and that was only one real stopgap right before. So for me, this has just been ridiculous. And when you confront these people who are scared and don't know who to trust, and you're the one out there being bold, saying something that is not the cultural hegemony, that is not the normal accepted politically correct opinion, what you should be asking these people is, what the fuck are you sacrificing by being home? What are you doing to return to normalcy? Because let me tell you, a lot of these people will get into Facebook fights with you, but they are not willing to accept that they have been led into a new normal. And this is a problem. This is going to be the big problem. One of the big things that I remember in the Dick Masterson versus Mr. Medicare debate, and why Jim was so blackpilled by the Chinese virus, is that there is no social cohesion. And as much as I don't want to admit he's right, he's totally right. We have all of this shit going on, and no one's willing to sit down and have an honest conversation with each other about what the ramifications are if we do not reopen things effectively enough. What happens if there's deaths from starvation as a result of these lockdowns because people are broke and cannot go out and just buy food with their paper money from the bank? It is essentially, this has been, I believe, one of the biggest eye-opening events in modern history, and it has shown that we sold all of our manufacturing to a foreign enemy who does not have our interests at heart. And if we are in trouble and they have the reins of power, they will absolutely 100% take it away from us. And good on President Trump into suggesting American businesses create things that we desperately need right now, like hand sanitizer, like PPE, like toilet paper, just all of this shit that we really need right now, and that we have essentially sold to the highest bidder. And unfortunately, I'm afraid that we're going to just go back to the complacency that came before. But the good news is that so much has happened as a result of the failure to act, the failure of China to get their shit in order, and the failure of the Western world to let it get this bad as a result of giving everything away, that we're going to have to really reassess our civics, our values, what we really believe as not only countries, but as a global population. We cannot let people who are hostile to Western ideas be in control of the world. And this is honestly China's gain and our loss if we fuck this up. So if you're out there and you're a dissident, you got to stay vigilant and you got to be brave. I'm sorry, there is no room for hiding your power levels anymore. People have clearly shown their true colors, and their true colors are stupid, ideologically possessed, and afraid. So you got to be the hero here. But that's going to wrap it up for my crisis follow-up. Hopefully I'll have more white pills next time in 2 weeks when I cover this. I live in a state that is on quite an extreme lockdown, and it is with good reason, because I live near a certain city that has a lot of cases. But I will not reveal that in the interest of making sure that my identity is not disclosed. So I will probably be stuck in this longer than most of you, so I will be very jealous if I hear stories from my audience about how great it is to be outdoors. So good on you for taking advantage of that. But that's going to be it for this video. To the people who are trying to make this crisis worse, well, you better tread lightly, because you will have a lot to answer for when this is over.